off the greatest hoax in American history.
One opinion piece with this, quote, since becoming the presumptive Democratic nominee with absolutely zero popular votes, she has not addressed a single one of those positions. Instead, her spokespeople have insisted that she doesn't hold those extreme positions. Neither she nor her spokespeople have explained why or when she changed her mind, end quote. You got the part where she says, yes, I'm radical and we need to get radical. It wasn't confusing. We understand it. Own it. Democratic Senator LaFonza Butler is defending the change now, the pivot, the flip-flopping that Kamala Harris is doing.
What do you think that voters should think when she's reversed herself on several issues just in the last 4 years?
I think that voters should think that she's a human being who learns new things every single day.
So no concern about flip-flopping?
No concern about flip-flopping.
Power panel now, Jessica Patterson, California GOP chairwoman, and David Carlucci, former Democratic state senator from New York. Do you defend the flip-flopping, David? And how do you, if so?
Well, Kamala Harris has a 20-year record in elected office.
Yes,
That's
we've seen it.
It's 3 times longer than you have Vance and
it
Trump
doesn't match
combined.
what she's saying now. So do you defend her flip-flopping?
Well, look, and we evolve as politicians, and that's what we ask our politicians to do. Just ask Donald Trump. He went from pro-choice to pro-life to now ambiguous. You asked J.D. Vance, he went from calling Trump America's Hitler to now running as his running mate. So we evolve as politicians. So I think this flip-flopping word is taken way out of context. It's used in a negative term. We want our politicians to evolve on the issues. To just say it once and that's how it is for the rest of your life is
you're
wrong.
saying that you understand when one side of the ticket, in your words, evolves on an issue. I don't think that there's a nebulous nature about where Donald Trump is sitting on that. He wants exceptions, so on and so forth for abortion. But it's not my job to argue for him. I just want to inject that fact. Jessica, I come to you if you would like to rebut.
Well, I think what we've seen here, I've worked with candidates over the last 20 years, and you have to be authentic. The great Maya Angelou once said, you know, when people show you who they are, believe them. Mm-hmm. And Kamala Harris has not just told us who she is, but she has shown us with her policies over the last 20 years. Whether it's the border, whether it is public safety, energy, healthcare, she is in a very different place today with her handlers than she has been in the last 20 years, and especially the last 3.5 years she's been there as vice president.
You know what we're going to find out today, David? Where she stands on the economy. And if her handlers have her stay silent, then that's where she stands. And if she comes out with more word salad, then that's where she stands. If she comes out with answers, that'll be groundbreaking, you were saying.
Yeah, she has a record to stand on. It's the Biden-Harris administration.
Can she dig us out of this ditch economically? What is her record on that?
Look, we're still on a roll. Yes, we've seen
you didn't pick California,
the
did you?
Take a turn. Well, we've seen the markets turn this morning, and we've also seen some better than expected reports recently. But over the past year, we've done remarkably well compared to the rest of the world. And yes, Bidenomics is something that wasn't articulated well by Joe Biden, but the policies have helped the United States and all Americans. And now Kamala Harris is in the position to articulate that message, but not in a way that boasts. You ask Donald Trump, all he does is blame and point out the problems. Kamala Harris is talking about what she's done and what she's going to do for the future.
Well, no, because he didn't have these problems on his watch. And that's part of the discussion that he's having now, either when you talk with him, when you see him on the stump, when you see him on a stage and interview him, no matter where he is. He didn't have the problems that we have with our economy right now. And we were in smack in the middle of a pandemic. Jessica,
we had a big
I'm going to let
problem.
Jessica
We had
finish.
COVID.
I think Bidenflation is incredibly real, and you need look further than California as the example of what not to be. There's a reason why Kamala Harris does not have an issues tab on her website, and that's because she doesn't know where she stands on the issues if she wants to win.
Jessica, I'm going to come back to you for just one point. Hold on, David.
David,
I want to just follow up one point with Jessica, because you brought up some of the areas really where these two candidates are different, Trump and potentially Kamala Harris. What does the former president need to be doing right now, though, in terms of the economy and the message that he puts out there? Ari Fleischer thinks that he's going to come out and continue to pound that issue.
He has to. I think about 3.5 years ago when we were energy independent. You look at a state like California, who has the most regressive policies when it comes to energy. We are paying the highest gas prices in the nation. A company like Chevron, who has had 145 years based here in California, has decided to leave because of those regressive policies and base in Texas. I think what President Trump needs to continue to do is talk about what it was like under a Trump administration, when we were seeing gains in every single employment sector, when we had the pandemic and we didn't go into a recession.
All right. Great to have you both. David, Jessica, we'll bring you back. Thank you. So you probably know this name because this particular athlete's in the